kwa hiyo nafasi, na pengine hata sisi in future, kwa sababu kwa siku zijazo tuangaliliwe kwa sababu ya hawa wanyama ambaye ni nyani, ambaye wanalete madhara sana katika miji mikuu mahali kuna poli, especially kama kule kwangu kuna hiyo National Park ya Nakuru ambaye watu wengi wanaathirika kwa sababu ya huyu mnyama anaitwa nyani. Kwa hivyo niseme once again, kwa mara nyingine, Mheshimiwa Raila, pongezi sana kwa msaada huu ambao umeleta. Asante.
Yeah, honorable members, I now put the question that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Mover of the bill to move.
Mheshimiwa Spika, naomba kutoa hoja kwamba mswada wa hifadhi na usimamizi wa wanyamapori marekebisho, mswada wa bunge la kitaifa nambari 3 wa mwaka 2023 sasa usome mara ya 3. Pia naomba Mheshimiwa Owen Baya kuafiki hoja hii. Bwana Spika, nataka nichukue nafasi hii niwashukuru wabunge wenzangu kwa kuungana pamoja kupitisha huu mswada. Pia nishukuru uongozi wa bunge kwa kuhakikisha kwamba leo tumefika hii stage. Hili ni jambo kubwa sana kwetu kwa sababu madhara mengi tuliyaona wakati tulipokwenda kule, kamati ilipokwenda Faza. Watu walikuwa wamekatwa miguu. Hivi sasa ni kuambia lazima kwa mwezi lazima at least mtu mmoja, angalau mtu mmoja atakuwa amepigwa na huu mnyama anaitwa yeda, kwa kizungu stingray. Pia kuna watu wengi wameathiriwa. Itasaidia watalii, hata si watu wetu peke yetu. Kuna mtalii alienda kupiga picha na akakatwa na papa. Pale feri pia watu wengi wanaathirika na papa kwa sababu meli zikija zinapita na mapapa. Bahati mbaya pengine mtu ameingia chini ya feri kutengeneza, anakatwa na papa na hawapati malipo. Hii itasaidia hata hawa wabunge. Saa nyingine wanaenda kujivinjari, wakifika Mombasa, wakienda na zile boat. Bahati mbaya waanguke kwa maji au sema unataka kuogelea, kuna saa nyingine hatari inaweza tokea, pia wao itakuwa imewasaidia. Bwana Spika, sitaki kuchukua muda mwingi zaidi, lakini nashukuru sana. Hata nimeshikwa na shaki. Najua kwangu hili ni jambo kubwa sana. Watu wangu nao watajihisi kwamba ni wa Kenya, wa coast wote kwa jumla watajihisi kama ni wa Kenya na wao hawatengwi kwa sheria. Manake sheria mwanzo ilikuwa imeangalia tu watu kwa ardhi, watu wa maji, sisi ambao tunaringizwa na maji ilikuwa hatuonekani. Nashukuru bunge hili sasa imefanya kwamba watu wanakaa kwa visiwa vya bahari au wanakaa kama mazingira ya maji na wao wamewekwa kwa rada ya serikali. Manake mara nyingi walikuwa wameona wametengwa. Hii itafanya tuweze kuhifadhi zaidi wanyama wetu wa pori. Asante Bwana Spika. Sije nikalia, asante.
Mheshimiwa Owen Baya.
Asante sana Bwana Spika, na hakiki mswada huu na afiki mswada huu kwamba usomwe kwa mara ya 3, na pia niseme kwamba kama vile wabunge wenzangu wanavyosema na vile Mheshimiwa Raila amesema, huu ni mswada mzuri sana, mswada ambao utasaidia watu wa pwani. Kilifi ni kati ya zile kaunti ambazo ziko na ufuo wa bahari mrefu sana, na bahari iko pale na watu kazi yao wengi ni maneno ya ubaharia, na mswada huu umekuja kwa wakati wake, kwamba ni wakati sasa watu ambao kwa muda mrefu walikuwa wamesahaulika katika maneno ya kufidiwa katika zile ajali zinafanyika ndani ya bahari, sasa pia wamepata nafasi. Kwa hiyo mimi ile nataka kuomba bunge hili, nataka kuomba uongozi wa bunge, mswada huu upeleke kwa haraka sana, uwekwe sahihi na rais ama assent, ili usikae. Nimeona miswada mingine tumepitisha hapa imekaa haijapelekwa for assent, Na mimi nataka niwaombe sana, huu mswada ambao Mheshimiwa Raila ameufanyia kazi sana na ameweka kazi zake sana na amepatia matumaini watu wa Lamu na watu wa Pwani, kwamba ufikishwe kwa haraka sana kwa rais, uwekwe sahihi, ili wale ambao wanaumia kwa sababu hii maneno ambayo imefanyika wapate fidia kwa haraka sana. Mimi nataka kuunga mkono. Asante sana.
Honorable Charles Nguna Ngusia.
Asante sana Bwana Speaker kwa kunipa nafasi hii.
Charles Nguna Ngusia, just take back your seat. I've not proposed the question for debate. Honorable members, I propose the question that the Wildlife Conservation and Management Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 3 of 2023, be now read a third time. Yeah, so now you can contribute, Honorable Charles Nguna Ngusia.
Asante sana Bwana Speaker. Nilikuwa nimeharakisha sana kuchangia mswada huu, lakini nimepata ya kwamba umekamilika. Kwa sasa mimi nataka kuongeza sauti yangu kwa hii niunge mkono kabisa, na nataka kuuliza itiwe sahihi haraka iwezekanavyo. Na kama Speaker ilivyo desturi yetu, nataka kuomba tafadhali upe dada yangu Recho Kaki, kuna kitu alikuwa anataka kuongezea hii mswada. Asante sana.
Honorable Charles Nguna Ngusia, I have not seen any request from Honorable Rachel Nyamai to either contribute or to inform you. Honorable Rachel Nyamai, you wanted to contribute?
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Because I want to put the question.
Yes, I would like to thank you very much for your indulgence. This is a very important bill, and the proposal that has been, the bill that has just passed, Honorable Speaker, is extremely important. I am aware that the committee has been looking on to amend the same act. I know that it will take time, because after being ascended to it, it needs to take about 6 months. But the issue of snake bites, Honorable Speaker, is a big issue that must be discussed now by this House. We have snake bites all over the country, starting with Baringo, Marsabit, Mandera. Kitui has the most poisonous snakes, Honorable Speaker. And we realize that when this amendment was being done, snake bites seems to have been left out. And I remember it was also removed, actually, in the 12th Parliament. So I would like to request the chair of this committee, after the passage of the 6 months, we will be bringing an amendment so that we also consider snake bites, because snake bites are killing too many people. And the ministry was in my constituency about 3 weeks ago, and the issue of snake bites was raised by my constituents, and so many people are calling for inclusion of snake bites in the compensation as part of the compensation we are discussing today. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for your indulgence. I support.
Yeah, Honorable Rachel, you raise a very important issue. My own grandmother, I never saw my paternal grandmother. He died of a snake bite. And so don't wait for 6 months. You can join the committee in pursuing that endeavor. Honorable members, because of other businesses, let me put the question. I have confirmed that we have the requisite quorum in the House for purposes of making a decision. I therefore put the question, which is that the Wildlife Conservation and Management Amendment Bill, National Assembly Bill number 3 of 2023, be now read a third time. As many as are of that opinion say aye. Aye. As many as are of a contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to amend the Wildlife Conservation and Management Act 2013.
Next order.
Order number 15, motion, exemption of major roads, expansion of major roads in the country to dual carriages, resumption of debate.
Is that for resumption of debate? Is it for resumption of debate? But it had been moved and seconded. Honorable Soro.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I rise to support the motion by the Honorable Faith Gitao on the expansion of major roads in the country to dual carriages. Honorable Speaker, the road issue or the road matter is actually a thorn in the flesh of many Kenyans, Honorable Speaker. That when you move around the world, those of us who have had the privilege to travel across the world, you'll agree with me that we are behind schedule in terms of the road network as a country, Honorable Speaker. But of importance, Honorable Speaker, is the proposal or the motion by the Honorable Faith Gitao that seeks, or rather that brings us to the attention of everybody, Honorable Speaker, about the expansion of these major roads. Honorable Speaker, when you look, or if you've had an opportunity to travel or to make your way or to drive or whichever way from Nairobi all the way to Nakuru, then all the way to Kericho, all through to that route, Honorable Speaker, you'll agree with me that over the weekends, that route is extremely busy. Very, very busy. Because unlike the traditional holiday places that have been said before, like Mombasa and, the South Coast, the North Coast and all those places, other Kenyans opt, Honorable Speaker, to drive from Nairobi to Naivasha for what nowadays they call staycation or something, or just a little bit of some holiday, because that is another area that has become a common holiday destination, Honorable Speaker, especially for those who are not able to raise enough money, Honorable Speaker, and even not even enough money. There are very, very good hotels, Honorable Speaker, nowadays in Nakuru, Naivasha area, Honorable Speaker, that people go for holidays, Honorable Speaker. But unfortunately, there is a challenge. You drive all the way from Nairobi, you get to Westlands, but past Limuru, Honorable Speaker, you then now start finding a challenge or getting a challenge of the road network because of so many vehicles, Honorable Speaker, on the way. Because there are so many vehicles on the way in that route. If there is something that we need to think of as a country, is expanding such highways, Honorable Speaker. The roads that go all the way to Malava, the roads that pass through, you go, Honorable Speaker, from Sotik to Kaplong. It's like a road, Honorable Speaker, that was made when the population was hardly, 2 million people in this country or 3 million people in this country. It is really not a road that people should be talking about. And I see Honorable Osero looking at me because that is his home. And he knows very well that there is a challenge between Sotik, Keroka, Kisii, and going all the way, Honorable Speaker, to Sirare. It's really, really a big challenge, Honorable Speaker. And there are so many vehicles on the road. Those roads, the implementers, or rather the people who came up with that structure of such roads, Honorable Speaker, did not envision a time when we will be densely populated as we are and with so many people on the road. And that is why this motion is coming in timely. Look at Mombasa, Honorable Speaker. Not everybody is able to afford a flight to Mombasa. That immediately you get to Makutano at the junction of Machakos towards Mombasa, Honorable Speaker, the road becomes slimmer, and slimmer. And because it was actually made, or it was constructed over 30 or 40 years ago, or even 50 years ago, and not really well maintained. Sometimes, of course, there are potholes on the road. some irregular bumps have been erected by people because of the accidents that are occur, Honorable Speaker, and we even squeeze ourselves with the trailers when you're driving in those roads. I mean, really, it is about time that we start having this discussion on how we can be able to get to expand these roads to have every major road as a dual carriage, Honorable Speaker. But even as we get to that, then we'll then need to sit down and ask ourselves this question. Is it then possible for this country, the country's budget, to meet those needs? Is it possible that within the budget that we have, Honorable Speaker, that we have all those roads, made under dual carriage, Honorable Speaker? What then, when you ask yourself this question, then it brings up for this answer that it's about time we also start thinking on how we can engage investors on such structures under the PPP terms. That if the government is not able to construct these roads because of the taxes, the insufficient budget that we have, Honorable Speaker, and of course the several needs, then it's about time that we start embracing the question of the private-public partnerships across the country. It is the question of time. It is about time that we start thinking about that, right? That if you're doing a road towards Malava from Nairobi, then have an investor construct an 8-lane structure, 8-lane carriage on one side, and 8-lane carriage on the other side, with the exclusion of a free one. Then you do tolling so that you are able to recover your money. So you do 8. If you want to go express to Malava, use the dual carriage. If you do not want to pay for the, through the toll station, then just a similar thing that happens, of course, Honorable Speaker, to the expressway. Then you are left with that small, slender road, the old one, so that you can use and remain on traffic as you want. So it's about time that we start telling Kenyans and embracing, even as leaders, the question of the PPP. Because it is not tenable through our budget. If we will be waiting for us, for the exchequer to fund the road, to make the road that way, like Thika Superhighway, so that we can have those dual carriages all through the country, it will not be possible. We want to urge Kenyans to start embracing the private-public partnerships. A similar thing that happened, a similar one like the expressway, it's optional for you to get through the expressway to the JKIA, or you use the underpass and go, it's free, and then go to JKIA. The difference is that one will save time, the other one will pay at a cost. So those are the things that we need to embrace, because it is timely. Looking at the city planning, looking at the country's planning, we are a little bit behind. I was engaging one of the colleagues, Honorable Speaker, when we visited Zambia the other day. You will notice, Honorable Speaker, that in Lusaka, even the city planning itself has envisioned a time where the country will have a population of 50 million or 60 million, because currently Zambia, although it's double in our size, Honorable Speaker, in terms of the landmass, their population is barely 20 million people. But looking at the city planning, the spaces they've left for those who cycle, the spaces they've left for those people who like walking along the road is very safe. But look at our country, Honorable Speaker. The cyclists, the people, the cyclists are riding their motorbikes and their bicycles just besides the vehicles, and besides those people who are doing jogging every day, and besides, of course, trailers, quite risky. And that is why, Honorable Speaker, we've got so many cases of hit and run. And I can tell you, as a legal practitioner, when I started practicing law, Honorable Speaker, the very first thing I started doing, Honorable Speaker, is going through the morgues, Honorable Speaker, for what we call ambulance chasing. And that's what most people who start practicing do whenever because it is common. People are dying on the road, Honorable Speaker, through hit and run. People are hit daily. And because of the nature of our laws, nowadays when you get a person hit by the roadside, Honorable Speaker, you can hardly stop and pick him, because when you take, even if he's, has some little pass left for him to be saved, you will fear, because when you take them to the hospital, you are asked, okay, so are you the one that hit this person? And the police will be after you. And that is why we are turning to be a country of each person for himself and God for us all. It's quite unfortunate. But generally, Honorable Speaker, it is about time that we start thinking through the PPPs. We start looking for the investors, viable and quality investors, to help us do the dual carriages. They toll to recover their money, but still we leave that slender one. We leave that road, that particular one, to be free of charge so that you have an option to either use through the toll station and pay, or pass through the normal one. So with that, Honorable Speaker, and this one should actually go deep into the villages so that it can actually open up the economic channels of this country. With those very many remarks, Honorable Speaker, I am very impressed by the Honorable Faith Gitau's motion, and I suggest that it just doesn't end in these structures of motion. We need to think through the public-private partnership, Honorable Speaker, in terms of, for us to engage, for us to be able to achieve this, because it is not possible to do this through the exchequer. I beg to support, Honorable Speaker, and I thank you very much.
Before we proceed, honorable members, I would like to welcome students seated in the public gallery this morning, students from Kivuthine Secondary School, Kibwezi East Constituency, Makwiny County. Let us welcome them to the National Assembly. You are welcome to continue observing the proceedings of the House. The Honorable Ekomas Mutuse, you may proceed, and I would like to request you, I've given you a chance there so that you may also welcome the students from Kibwezi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. In welcoming the students from Kivuthine Primary School in Kibwezi East, which is my neighboring constituency, just to urge them and their teachers to you are welcome to the House of Parliament. This is where decisions in terms of laws, decisions in terms of budgeting, and oversight of expenditures of the national government are taken. This is a house of record, it's a house of order. You are among the privileged few who have had the opportunity to come here, and therefore I congratulate you with your teachers for making to the House of Parliament, and we wish you all the best in your academic journeys so that in future all of you may grow up to be professionals who this country will look up to in terms of transforming us, and some of you may also become leaders and lead your people at your time. Having said that, Madam Speaker, and I say that on behalf of the Honorable Jess Kambalo because that is our constituency. Having said that, Madam Speaker, allow me to now comment on the motion for the expansion of major roads in the country to dual carriageways that has been moved by the Honorable Faith Gitau. From the onset, Madam Speaker, this is a motion that is not only timely, but is something that should have been done by the country many, many years ago. Madam Speaker, you are now aware that the World Bank has classified Kenya as the 6th largest economy in Africa. We have now overtaken Ethiopia and Angola, and we are now the 6th largest economy in Africa by virtue of the size of our GDP. That means that our infrastructure needs to reflect the size of our economy. And that infrastructure to reflect the size of our economy, our road systems need to be modernized, our railway systems as well need to be modernized, and so that we reflect a country that is the 6th largest economy in Africa in the 21st century. If you compare our infrastructure with that of South Africa, driving from Cape Town to Pretoria, you realize it's a dual carriage. It's a long distance. Same way from many, many cities in our continent that are smaller economies than us. And therefore, we want to congratulate the Honorable Faith Gitau for reminding us in this House and those in the executive that the time has come for our roads to be dual carriageways. Madam Speaker, I represent a constituency that is on the Nairobi-Mombasa Highway, Kibwezi West constituency. From Kibwezi town through Makindu to Emali is a distance of about 70 kilometers on the Nairobi-Mombasa Highway. And there are many, many accidents. It is the same in Kibwezi East, it is the same in Kilome constituency. There are many, many accidents that are happening because the road is a single carriageway. And we have been expecting, especially with the promise that the Americans want to do an expressway from Nairobi to Mombasa, the one that they have nicknamed Usahihi, that we may have this project come to pass so that we may reduce the number of accidents, because one life lost through a road accident is too many lives for us. We have also heard about plans to do the road from Chumvi through Konza Technopolis all the way to Emali under the funding of the Korea government. And I stand to request the executive to fast track such plans so that my people, the people living along the Nairobi-Mombasa highway, may stop losing their lives because of avoidable accidents that can be avoided by dualing the Mombasa-Nairobi highway. As for the funding, everything starts with an idea. And we cannot fear to propose ideas of dualing our roads because we do not have the money. And therefore, I want, as I support this motion, to urge the State Department for Roads to come up with a plan on how we can dual our roads and to engage Parliament so that we may pass the necessary policy and legislative framework to facilitate the dualing of all the roads in the Republic of Kenya so that we may reflect the economy that we are, that we may become attractive even to foreign investment and attract more people to come to our country, because a road network, attractive road network also is important in terms of the image of our country that we give to the people who visit our country. Having said that, Madam Speaker, I beg to support and urge that it doesn't end at mere debate, that the Committee on Implementation will pick it up so that we may have a concrete plan with clear timelines on how this will be achieved. I thank you, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Honorable Mutuse. The Honorable Naomi Wako, member for Marsabit.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for allowing me to add my contribution to this very important motion brought by Honorable Faith Gitau, one of our very diligent commissioner and a member of Parliament. Honorable Speaker, as I stand, I want to confirm that I support this motion because it touches on one of the most important things that we depend on as a country. Honorable Speaker, the proposal that this House resolves that the government through the Ministry of Roads and Transport undertakes an expansion program of national trunk roads with the view of upgrading all classes A, B, and C roads in the country from two-way lanes to dual carriageway, one-way roads with the necessary infrastructure that include footbridges, safe crossing zones at regular intervals. Honorable Speaker, I fully support this because we know very well as a country, so many innocent lives have been lost. We've lost many people. We've lost even tourists who have been in our country due to road carnage. We've lost our young people, students, going for school trips or maybe going to their schools because of road carnage. And by expanding our road, we are sure that the accidents that keep happening in our country and on the roads will be reduced. Honorable Speaker, even as we propose this, some disciplines must be observed of time and how the drivers, should conduct themselves, and having the driving license and doing all the due diligence will help us and add a lot of value to the suggestion that we are making. And again, Honorable Speaker, expanding our roads will be profitable to our country. Our economy will grow because we know very well that many of our neighboring countries depend on us. And by expanding our roads, then we know that we will be able to grow our economy and we'll be able even to be of use to our neighbors, because Kenya, as it is today, we are at the front line and leading from there. We wouldn't want, to cause chaos and also other people to be in our country and have accidents. Honorable Speaker, we also know very well that road transport is still the preferred mode of travel and transport for many Kenyans, simply because it is affordable. And many of us prefer it because we know that when you are on the road, you are safe enough, unless maybe something that you are not aware happens. You know that you will be able to reach your destination safely. But again, if we are not able to manage and to control well, we will continue losing a lot of people. Honorable Speaker, we know that even for the service delivery, you know, we depend on our roads for the service delivery. And these days we have our motorbike, the borders, who support us. And what the motion is supporting is going to help us a lot, because with what she's saying, safe crossing zones at regular intervals, proper drainage system, and other requisite infrastructure for their optimal operation. Even our border people will have their own path to be riding on, and that will be safe, because right now we are mingling and everybody is trying to compete for space on our roads, which is not safe, and again we are not saving time. So that we can save time, we can also be effective, we can also be able to achieve many things as we consider doing different things, then we will be able to manage very well. Honorable Speaker, again, it is the suitable way or suitable means of transport when it comes to short distance, because you cannot fly, you cannot jump over, you have to have proper way of driving and just getting to your destination on time. And this is the only way we can be able to achieve all our goals. It is my prayer that we will be able to do this, so that in our country, we already have a lot of challenges. We have many people, you know, blaming the government for doing different things. We have Kenyans crying because of poor economy. We have challenges because businesses are not doing well. If we can ease the traffic, and if we can help our people to have at least safe way of traveling and reaching their destination, people's businesses will pick, and we will be able to do a lot. With those few remarks, Honorable Speaker, I support, and I request the other members also to support this motion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Naomi Wako, the Deputy Whip. The Honorable Gideon Ochanda, member for Bondo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, there are a number of things that if people and governments are not able to realize and do, will continue being in many, many, many problems. One of these is the issue of planning and the use of data. Our successive governments are well aware that we have more vehicles on the road each year as years advance. What is it that we are doing, or what is it that we are placing for purposes of this increase of traffic in terms of our road infrastructure? I think there are some very basic things, very, very, very basic, that governments, the successive governments, have not worked towards this. And they are well aware that vehicles are registered every day, the number has been going up, and where we are taking these vehicles to is not developed. It's a similar problem we have, for example, in housing and what we are seeing in Nairobi now. One house or a household is brought down, one building, and instead it is replaced by a massive house of more than 40 households. While you are doing this, you have not planned for sewer, you have not planned for transport, you have not planned for all these many other things. And this is exactly where the messes are coming in. And we also have data in terms of the amount of messes that we have on our roads. We also have the amount of messes that we have even in terms of the other infrastructure because of planning. I don't want to say that the planning has not been bad, but somebody is ignoring, because these are very bare facts, that when you increase in number, definitely there must be a provision. Even if it is water, there must be a provision Nairobi doesn't have the same people it had 20 years ago. There must be a provision. There must be some forward looking in terms of how some of these things are supposed to be met. And Madam Speaker, even some very basic way of how government raises revenue, we are well aware that if you put aside the formal ways of raising taxes or revenue, transport sector is one of the biggest sectors that helps these governments to raise money. What is it that we are doing when you are very sure that a sector generates for you money? It is a sector again that you ignore. Because if it were any other ordinary mind, you'll invest more where you generate more. And there was a policy in this country one time that you put more where you get more. You put more money where more money comes from. I don't know where this was lost. And a more particular one is where we use planning deliberately for a 5-year cycle. We plan with politics in mind. I think this is where there's a big problem. Because we are talking about these major roads. Some of them cannot be fixed within the 5-year period. But for purposes of planning and investment in them, it is important that we spread them across. Where we are at the moment, we are seeing problems that we would have avoided many years ago. 60 years since independence, we've only managed to do a railway, the SGR, which even as at now is still not in our hands. We've not done any. And yet we know that this would have been the best alternative to the road problems. You look at the colonial government, they were able to do this railway from Mombasa to Uganda in a decade. Yeah? And that was from 1901, 1902, and those are ages ago. Here we are, since independence, we are not even able to do a 1 or so kilometer of even if the old railway system that we were using before, even if we decided to put aside the SGR. I know there are those attempts that are there in place, but many of them are still focusing on doing these things within 5-year period. It can't work. So for purpose of our planning, we needed to know that from Mombasa to Nairobi was to be done in a certain period of time, Nairobi, Busia, or Malaba to be done in a certain period of time, Nairobi, Garissa to be done in a certain period of time, Nairobi, Kisumu, and whatever to be done in a certain period of time. This is exactly what has helped Tanzania. Tanzania has some of the very major bridges across their bigger rivers. But they have been doing those major bridges within, there are now 5, within every term of each parliament, each presidency, each government. They've been doing very major projects in terms of road network and bridges. They have bigger bridges than those we have. If you put aside Nyali, the other bridges are really big because of the big rivers. And this has been happening because it is not tied to electoral period of time. So, Madam Speaker, these are some of the things that really needs to be looked at, so that when we are planning, we plan and we make use of our data. The next one is the issue of quality, Madam Speaker. You do a road, is a highway, and you are doing it like you are doing a village road. I'm bringing this in place, like in my place. We have a road, a Kenha road done from Kisian to Osieko. It's a Kenha road. But if you look at this road, it's a road that cannot withhold the kind of time and the kind of traffic that we have on it, because it was poorly done. More so between Bondo and Osieko is worse. And the maintenance arrangement cannot work. Every single time there's some contractor in place. As at now, the road surface is like it was a small village road. So the quality of works that go into highways also must be looked at, so that we don't go into one road 1 year after the other, you are on one road. 1 year after the other, you are on one road. We fix major roads, we fix them right, we fix them to last for purpose of quality, and then we move on. But if we are doing one road poorly done, and every single day you have to work on issues of maintenance, like this road I'm talking about, there's some contractors in one place or the other every single day, and it doesn't work. Right now it's in horrible condition, and you really wonder why was that money used in doing this road. If it would have been used in a village road rather than a highway. So, Madam Speaker, there are these issues that must be looked at: the issue of planning, the issue of where revenue is raised from, the issue of quality, and the issue of really looking at the alternative. Alternative to roads can only be railways, nothing else. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ochanda. The Honorable Jackson Lekumontare, member for Samburu East.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this chance. to contribute to this motion, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, this motion is very good for discussion. And I think, Madam Speaker, these roads, some of these roads, Madam Speaker, they are just there now to waste time. Because, Madam Speaker, if you look at some of our roads, you can be in a road for a very long time. And I think, Madam Speaker, just as other members have said, it is time for expansion. And I think this is a very good discussion, Madam Speaker. And as we discuss, it's very important, Madam Speaker, to be known that some parts of this country, there are no roads, even that single line. And we are discussing about expanding the roads. But other parts of this country, Madam Speaker, like where I represent, Samburu East, there are no roads, Madam Speaker. And I think equity is very important to every part of this country. You find that, Madam Speaker, the road may be serving a population, it is not there. Even getting some services become a problem. And if at all we are in the same country, then it is advisable and it is very important, even for those who implement these projects, to consider every part of this country. It's even better, Madam Speaker, to say every constituency should have at least a tarmac road. But I think some parts of this country, even children are going to see tarmac after 60 years of independence. And it is very important, Madam Speaker, as we talk about expanding the existing roads. The time for this expansion is also an issue. Madam Speaker, if you look at the road passing through Karatina, that road, I usually pass that road. And since I came to this parliament, now this is my second term, the contractors have been there since. Even when I was a teacher, I used to pass there, Madam Speaker, and the contractors are on the site throughout. I don't know when will that road be completed. And I think people are not serious even to do what they are supposed to do. Because for more than 10 years, just trying to expand the road, it is not moving. So it is a good thing to discuss, a good thing to bring this motion. And I think it is important that it should be implemented, Madam Speaker. We lack good roads in this country. And I don't agree, Madam Speaker, when we say the resources are not enough, because they are enough in other places. It is only people are not looking at the whole country in a very fair manner. Some parts will get a lot of money, while others, when we look at other parts, then there is no funds. That is the usual song people are singing every now and then. And I think it is now the high time the government should be able to look at every part and consider it. If the budget is small, then it should be small for everybody. But you can find other places getting a lot of money, but others, no roads throughout. And we are in the same country. So I think it is very good. We really need to look at how maybe we can get funds to try help Kenyans. if you look at even the commodities, the way people are getting even food, commodities in other places, it is very high because of bad roads. When people are saying here unga has gone, Madam Speaker, in our places, we even don't talk because the road is worsening even what our people are getting. So I think it's a good thing, good to discuss, but very important to note that there are no roads in other places. And I think if we really want to be fair, let us look at every corner of this country. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I support this expansion of roads to every place. Thank you.
Thank you, Member for Samburu East. The Honorable Wilberforce Oundo, Member for Funyula.
Thank you, Honorable
And
Speaker.
Honorable Professor, you have only 4 minutes. The time for this motion is coming to an
Okay, thank
end.
you, Honorable Speaker. Let me also join my colleagues in supporting the motion by Honorable Faith Gitau on expansion of major roads in the country to dual carriageways. Honorable Speaker, transportation is the key to industrialization, is the key to improving the economy, and its importance cannot be gainsaid. Honorable Speaker, many of our so-called trunk roads, the international roads connect various regions and towns in this country, cannot really be constituted or be considered to be true roads in the true sense in what we see in the other countries. Honorable Speaker, it's such a shame that the road from Kisumu all the way to the border at Busia is literally a track. It cannot be called a road. Yet we pride ourselves that's the road to Great Lake region, to the entire all parts of the East and Central Africa. Honorable Speaker, the same applies to large chunks of the road between Eldoret and Malaba. It's therefore important that, as Honorable Faith has stated, that this country, the planners, all those who are involved, should move with speed and through other means, find ways and means of ensuring that these roads are dual. Honorable Speaker, if you travel many parts of this world, even small countries in Africa, all their major trunk roads are truly dual roads so that they move traffic, move goods fairly fast to where they are supposed to be. But Honorable Speaker, as we concentrate on the roads, allow me also to join Dr. Chanda. In many other parts of the country, actual road supplements transport. We have an untapped opportunity for purposes of railway. We could have moved much more goods, much more passengers, faster, safer, if we had continuously invested in the railway network. The last railway to be built was during the colonial time. The next has been during President Uhuru's time. Surely, honestly speaking, if we could find a way, I had an opportunity to travel in South Korea, a distance of almost 1,000 kilometers with a speed train. You cover much less period of time, and you move much more many people compared to road transport. But unfortunately, for Madam Faith, this is just a mere motion. Implementing or putting into practice motions in this country, if we have such a bad history, we might just end up being a chat show here without much impact or effort. With those few remarks, so that I save time, I support.
Thank you very much, honorable members. The balance of time, 48 minutes, has expired. So this motion, I'm sorry, it comes to an end. I know a few of you had wanted to speak, like the Honorable Dr. Mutunga, the Honorable Dick Maungu, and those two. Sorry, you cannot. I would like now to call upon the mover to reply. Is the mover in the house? I understand that the mover is in another meeting, the Commissioner Faith Gitau. So that will be scheduled at another time by the House Business Committee. Next order.
Order number 16, motion, implementation of the universal health coverage and of a policy on mandatory use of public health care facilities by public officers.
Motion by the Honorable Sabina Chege, nominated member. I would like this to be scheduled at another time. Next order.
Order number 17, motion, formulation of a regulatory framework on artificial intelligence in the country.
This motion is by the Honorable Marianne Kitani, MP. Let's try to trace the Honorable Marianne because I've just seen her around. Honorable members, I would like to welcome students seated in the Speakers Gallery this morning, students from El Kejuado High School, Kajiado constituency in Kajiado County. You are welcome to the National Assembly to continue observing proceedings of the House. Honorable members, let's welcome them in our usual way. Thank you. Honorable members, in the absence of the Honorable Marianne Kitani, I order that this motion be scheduled at another time by the House Business Committee. Next order.
Order number 18, motion, formulation of land use policy on zoning of land for agriculture and belt development.
Honorable members, this motion motion number 18, formulation of land use policy on zoning by the Honorable Timothy Wanyonyi, MP Westlands. That one is also deferred. Honorable members, I would like to inquire from the Honorable Kitani. Please approach the table. Request the Honorable Sabina Chege, please approach the table. So I request the clerk to call order number 17.
Order number 17, motion, formulation of a regulatory framework on artificial intelligence in the country.
The Honorable Marianne Kitani, please proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. motion on artificial intelligence, on regulatory framework on artificial intelligence in the country. That aware that the world is rapidly embracing artificial intelligence, or AI, which is the use of a digital computer or computer-controlled robots to perform tasks commonly associated with the intelligent beings, and acknowledging that the 2022 Government Artificial Intelligence Readiness Index report ranked Kenya the 5th in Africa and 90th globally in readiness to adopt artificial intelligence. Further acknowledging that the Oxford Insight Survey 2022 pegged Kenya's readiness to adopt AI at 40.3%, and appreciating that AI, or artificial intelligence, has brought forth positive benefits that have increased efficiency in different sectors such as healthcare, manufacturing, and robotics, and concerned that the exponential rate at which the artificial intelligence is being embraced in the society without proper regulatory mechanisms has caused various negative consequences, such as rising cases of disinformation and fake news, and noting that there is need to protect Kenyans from potential AI-instigated harms, such as privacy breaches, AI-powered fake technology algorithms, algorithmic discrimination, autonomous weapons, job displacement and economic inequality, social manipulation and misinformation, financial market manipulation, and privacy invasion. Now, therefore, this House urges the government, through the Ministry of Information, Communication and Digital Economy, to 1, formulate a regulatory framework and ethical guidelines for implementation of artificial intelligence, or AI, in the country to control its potential use, and 2, develop and execute public awareness programs on artificial intelligence to raise understanding of artificial intelligence, fostering transparency and promoting responsible use of AI for the benefit of all. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
She should have. You need to move the motion. Do you have a seconder?
Okay. I'll ask Honorable Maungo to second. I move the motion that formulation of a regulatory framework on artificial intelligence in the country, and ask Honorable Maungo to second. Thank you.
Proceed to second the motion.
I've been given double mics. Thank you, Madam Speaker. Allow me first and foremost acknowledge that Honorable Marianne has just proposed a very important and significant motion that comes at a time where the country is at a point in time, Madam Speaker, where artificial intelligence is a thing of the day. Madam Speaker, as well captured, regulatory framework may be the most important thing to do at a point like this, because there are several benefits that accrue to the country, several benefits accrue to the citizens and the community at large by using artificial intelligence. Madam Speaker, we have been able to see what artificial intelligence can do, and we live in a society that is a global village, Madam Speaker. And if we don't have regulatory framework within which artificial intelligence will be used, Madam Speaker, members of the public and the country at large is likely to suffer some consequences, Madam Speaker. And therefore, having a framework within which people, the public, can use AI will be the way to go. I therefore second. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Member for Luanda. Honorable members, I now propose a question. That aware that the world is rapidly embracing artificial intelligence, which is the use of digital computer or computer-controlled robots to perform tasks commonly associated with intelligent beings. Acknowledging that in 2022, Government Artificial Intelligence Readiness Index report ranked Kenya 5th in Africa and 90th globally in readiness to adopt artificial intelligence. Further acknowledging that Oxford Insights Survey 2022 pegged Kenya's readiness to adopt AI at 40.3%, appreciating that AI has brought forth positive benefits that have increased efficiency in different sectors